All right, welcome back. Last week I spoke about the pros and cons of relocating to Milwaukee. What does it feel like living here? What are the people like? What is the weather like? What are some of the changes that the city is seeing and why Milwaukee has started trending in the last years? If you have missed the video, I'm going to post a link to it somewhere up here. And today I want to get a little bit more granular and talk about the different neighborhoods and the different suburbs and municipalities because Milwaukee comes in so many different flavors. So what are the best places to live in Milwaukee? I would say that depends very much on your personal preference and on your personal lifestyle. Here are some of my personal favorites. Okay, before we go into the specific neighborhoods, let me just give you quickly a geographic orientation so you know the lay of the land. When people are talking about Milwaukee, it is often not clear if they're referring to the city of Milwaukee or the county of Milwaukee. The city of Milwaukee takes up most of the space within the county, but there's also 19 other municipalities within the county of Milwaukee, some of them really nice, and we're going to talk about those, but they're all within the county of Milwaukee. When we talk about the Milwaukee metro area or the greater Milwaukee area, that's a total of 4 counties, which you have Milwaukee County, Ozaukee County to the north, which is where I live, then you got Washington County to the northwest and Waukesha County to the west. And on the east side, obviously, you have Lake Michigan. So in total, the population is about 1.6 million people here, and we have a good size housing inventory. About 16,000 single-family homes get sold every year, about 1,800 duplexes, which are perfect for house hacking, by the way, and then we have about 3,400 condos that get sold or got sold in 2019. People who have never been to Milwaukee sometimes seem to have that particular idea how the city is going to look and feel like. And when they physically get here and they start exploring different neighborhoods and driving around, they are very much pleasantly surprised about the variety that they are finding. Milwaukee can accommodate definitely anything from an urban lifestyle to a more suburban lifestyle, or if you like a house with acreage and some woods behind, you can find that as well. The same is true for budget. No matter if you're looking for entry level or for a multi-million-dollar mansion or condo, you'll definitely have a lot of different options. Speaking of budgets, Milwaukee is usually known as a lower cost of living, in particularly compared to the East Coast and the West Coast. And that's definitely true. But along with the changes that we're seeing in Milwaukee, we're also seeing real estate prices rising. So for example, if you look at the median sales price of a single family home in the county of Milwaukee, in 2015, that was $135,000. Last year in September, that was $175,000. This year in September, you're looking at $192,000. So that's a huge increase over the last 5 years, in particular over the last year. So you can see how strong the demand for single family homes in Milwaukee is. All right, so let's talk about my personal favorite areas to live in Milwaukee in no particular order, but we obviously have to start with the downtown area, which is located right on the shoreline of Lake Michigan. There are 2 parts to that, the historic 3rd Ward, and then you have the lower east side. This is probably one of the most scenic parts of Milwaukee. You're looking right down on the lakeshore of Lake Michigan, especially from these high-rise condos. You have absolutely mind-blowing views on the sunrise in the morning when the sun is coming up on the horizon of Lake Michigan, and you see people jogging and biking down on Veterans Park. It's an absolutely great area to live, and you have a front row seat to probably one of the best views that Milwaukee has to offer. Veterans Park is right there. There's also the Summerfest grounds right there. So there's lots of festivals and stuff going on in the summer. You also have really good access to nightlife, entertainment, bars and restaurants. Everything's really close by, and you have the typical urban setting where everything is accessible just by walking or just by riding a bike, which a lot of people are choosing downtown. From a real estate point of view, there's a lot of condos, both in the historic 3rd Ward and in the lower east side. Price-wise, you can have anything, I would say starting point about $300,000 all the way up to multi-million dollars. So we see listings going up to $2 or $3 million, usually very large condos and with spectacular views of the lake. There's also a good amount of really grand single-family homes that have been built close to the lakeshore, in the 1920s, and as you're going a little bit more inland, there's also some spectacular duplexes. So if you're interested in a luxury house hack, that might be a good option there. You find them in various different conditions. You have some of these buildings, they are more or less in need of work, original condition, and you can get them for a relatively good price. Or you can pick something up that has been completely remodeled. Of course, it comes with a much higher price tag. The one downside that you will see when you're shopping for real estate in that area is that property taxes are a little bit higher there. So downtown provides for a very cool urban lifestyle, but it is probably not the most kid-friendly. So let's move on to something that's a whole lot more family-friendly. Let's go a little further to the north. Also, right on the lakefront are the North Shore communities. The North Shore is located between Lake Michigan and the Milwaukee River, and there's a number of municipalities in there, and they all together get referred to as the North Shore. So you have Shorewood, you have Whitefish Bay, which is where my Keller Williams office is, you have Fox Point and Brown Deer, just to name a few. All of them have their own thing going on and a little different flavor, but all of them are generally referred to the North Shore communities. And they're very family friendly, very kids friendly. The schools are very highly regarded, some of the best in the States. And the North Shore in many statistics shows up as amongst the top 5 places, depending which community you look at and which list and which ranking, amongst the top 5 places for a family or to raise kids in Wisconsin. It's a quite exclusive area. There's only 45,000 people living in the North Shore communities, which is just about 3% of the population of the metro area. So quite exclusive. And with that, of course, you see also a little higher prices. Median single family home in the North Shores is about $350. You can sometimes find a small fixer-upper in the $250 range maybe. But if you prefer something that's bigger and that's already fixed up or updated, you're probably looking more in the $500,000 to $600,000 range. The closer you get to the lake, the more exclusive things become, and then you're getting close to $1 million, and of course into the multi-million-dollar properties that are right on the lake shore. People are not moving out from the North Shore communities oftentimes after the kids are done with school because they enjoy the neighborhood so much. It's a very community. It feels like a community. People know each other. They know their neighbors. There's lots of trees, lots of parks. It's a very green area with very good walking scores, and people enjoy walking to a coffee shop or walking to get groceries. You don't necessarily need a car. What's the downside of the North Shore? I would mention property taxes, which, of course, with the higher property values, there's also relatively high property taxes. If the North Shore is still a little bit too busy and feels a little bit too tight and packed for you, you might want to take a look at Ozaukee County. Ozaukee County is right to the north of Milwaukee and directly on Lake Michigan as well. And it breaks down into a number of communities. In the south, closest to Milwaukee, you have Mequon and Thiensville. Then a little bit further up, you have Cedarburg and Grafton. And then again, a little further up, you have Port Washington with a beautiful marina located right on the lakeshore of Lake Michigan. In total, about 90,000 people living in Ozaukee County. This is where I live. I live right between Mequon and Cedarburg, so we can just hop on our bikes, get on the bike trail, and grab a bite to eat or a drink either in Cedarburg or in Mequon. Ozaukee County is generally close enough to downtown, so from where I live, it takes me about 20-25 minutes. If you live a little bit further up north, it may take you 30 minutes to go all the way directly to downtown Milwaukee. So if you're looking for a luxury residence, if you're looking for a more open feel, some more land, Ozaukee County is definitely worthwhile taking a look. The individual communities all have a different flavor. Maybe let's start with Mequon, which has the highest price point on average. So the median sales price in Mequon is about $400,000, but you can easily go up to $600,000, $1 million, and over. And Mequon is sometimes known for old money. The difference between East Mequon and West Mequon is that East Mequon is close to the freeway, so it's very easy to jump on the freeway and get downtown. West Mequon is a little bit more rural. and it takes you a little bit longer to get to a grocery store, get to the freeway, so the prices are also a little bit lower there. Next would be Cedarburg, which is a very interesting community, has a very quaint small town feel. It's a tourist destination, so a lot of people go to Cedarburg for the weekend. There's a lot of shopping going on. They have fantastic restaurants, a lot of festivals in the summer, Strawberry Fest to mention just one. Median prices are usually in the 300s, maybe 350, so they're priced a little bit lower than Mequon. But I would say in the last years it's the hottest real estate market because it's just such a quaint little town and really a fantastic place to raise a family. Schools, by the way, in all of these communities are outstanding. So a lot of the reasons why people are moving to Ozaukee County are the fantastic schools, which are top rated in the state, and also the very, very low property taxes. So if you compare property taxes with Milwaukee, you'll find that, especially in a higher end property, the dollar amount difference per month or per year is significant. Then if you go further up north, you have Port Washington. In my opinion, Port Washington is one of the better kept secrets. And it seems like in the last few years, builders have figured that out because there is, 5 or 6 new condo developments that I know about where you can overlook the lake. And cost of living with the lake view is a lot less than if you're going to downtown Milwaukee. If Ozaukee County is not exactly your cup of tea, you might want to take a look at the more western part of the metro area. There are 2 big municipalities there, Wauwatosa and Brookfield, and a number of smaller ones that surround them. But they're all located in the western part of the Milwaukee metro area and very centrally located from a traffic point of view. So you're right at the Sioux interchange, which is a big freeway intersection, and that gets you very quickly into all 4 directions. So if your job, for example, requires that you're frequently going to the airport, that is a good area, a good location to be. And also in many other ways, a good mix between urban and suburban lifestyle. You have a little bit of both there. Wauwatosa, or short Tosa as locals call it, is a community with about 48,000 people. Home prices are about, in the median, about $250,000 to $300,000 for a single family home. If you want to go a little bit bigger and a little bit nicer and fully updated, you're typically looking at $500,000 to $600,000 in that area. And Wauwatosa is one of the best rated neighborhoods for young professionals. But they also have good school districts there, so it's not a bad area to raise a family either. Then as you go west from there, you're actually getting outside of Milwaukee County, you're getting into Waukesha County, and you get into Brookfield. And Brookfield is about 40,000 people in population, single family homes, mostly median price about $300,000, $350,000. For bigger properties, you can go up to $500,000, $600,000. And you have very generous, larger lots there. What makes Brookfield interesting? There is a lot of new retail there, lots of restaurants, entertainment, shopping malls. So from that point of view, that was always a draw for Brookfield. But it's also very family friendly. They have very good school districts. And then there is, next to Brookfield, is a small municipality called Elm Grove. It's a tiny municipality. There's only 6,000 people living there. Very, very exclusive. Elm Grove has now the #1 rated school district in the state. It's also #1 rated for being family friendly. A little bit on the pricey side. Median about $400,000, and you can get up there. There's some very, very expensive properties in Elm Grove. If you are interested in more information about Milwaukee, if you're potentially thinking about relocating to the Milwaukee area, I'll put a link here. You can download a 40-page relocation guide that we have put together that gives you all the information about the Milwaukee and the Milwaukee metro area, how it feels living here, what it's like, etc. So I'll post that below as well. And I hope you had some good takeaways from the video. Thank you very much for taking the time watching it, and I will see you next week.